First off, I want to say shalom, salam, assalamu alaikum, hotep, black power, whatever's your favorite. The Nanesh, Akamjata, and Kamelahi. Habeen with Knox and Queens, I'm feeling it in. Yes, I pray, I believe in the truth and the planting of these seeds. Yeah, yes, I pray, I believe in the impossible things that's unseen. Yeah, yes, I pray, I believe.
Shalom, kulam. This is UZZIYAHU Ben Yehuda with Bysa Tzedakah Edah. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom. And I want to get into Times with the Gentiles is White Supremacy Part 2. Let's get into it. All right. So this is Bysa Tzedakah Edah. Times of the Gentiles is White Supremacy Part 2. And for those, make sure you go check out Part 1. I'm going to do Part 2, and I'm going to just keep building on Times of the Gentiles is White Supremacy. All right, so we're going to do a recap. We're going to start with Luke 21, 20 through 24. This is the summary and the context. So Yahoshua speaks prophetically about the fall of Jerusalem, warning his disciples of the city's impending destruction. He says, 1, Jerusalem shall be surrounded by the armies, is a clear warning of siege and conquest. 2, desolation. Those in the surrounding areas are urged to flee for their lives. 3, judgment upon this people. Many will fall by the sword, and others will be taken captive. 4, the times of the Gentiles. Jerusalem will be trampled by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled. This passage is commonly interpreted as referring to the Roman siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. When the city and its temple were destroyed. So the dispersal and subjugation of the Bysa nation, Yehuda, Judah, among the Gentile nations. Now, we're going to go back over Genesis chapter 10, 1 through 5. Okay, so the Gentiles. So we know that Japheth is the father of the Gentiles. Japheth, Europeans, and Indo-Europeans. Most of these people were anti-Shemitic. It's the time of the Gentiles and white supremacy. All right, so Genesis 10, 1 through 5. And this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog and Madai and Yawan, and Tubal and Meshech and Tiras. Genesis 10, 3. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz and Riphah and Togarmah. 4. And the sons of Yawan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. And 10. From these, the coastland peoples of the nations, or in the King James, it says the isles of the Gentiles, were separated or divided into their lands, everyone according to his tongue or language, according to their clans or families, and to their nations. So Genesis 10, 1 through 5 lets us know that Japheth is the father of the Gentiles. And when you look at these different sons, you will see that he's the father of the Europeans. Okay, so that's a fact, right? Now, check this out. So let's conclude this. Genesis 10, 1 through 5. Japheth is the father of all the Gentiles and Europeans. Japheth / Gentiles / Europeans have lands, languages, nations, and clans. Now, there are some significant groups amongst Japheth. I can think of 3 major groups, right? The three major groups are: 1, you have a son of Japheth named Gomer, which had a son named Ashkenaz. And some say it means Germany. And you have Jews who call themselves and identify themselves as Ashkenazi Jews, European Jews, or European Jewry. That's what they have identified themselves as, right? 2, you have a son of Japheth named Yawan, which was considered and referred to as the Greeks. If you look at that and research that, they said that Yawan is connected to the Greeks and referred to as the Greeks. All right. And then even in Joel 3, right, it talks about the sons of Yawan. And so number 3 is that you have the son of Yawan, which is named Kittim, and Kittim is referred to as the Romans, which is one of the grandsons of Japheth. All right, so let's recap. Gomer had a son named Ashkenaz. It's connected to Germany and Ashkenazi Jews. 2, Yawan is connected to the Greeks. And 3, now check this out, what we're going to see later on. Kittim is related to the Romans. The Romans fell in 476 AD, and the offshoot of the nations of Rome, we're going to get into that. One of them was Britain, and United States has come from the British colonies. You know, they come from there. So you have the Romans, the offshoot nation of Rome, Britain, and United States. Now, remember, we're going to talk about what the Messiah said in Luke 21, 20 through 24. I believe that's just as potent and just as powerful. I think even better than talking about Deuteronomy. I don't even have to talk about Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, especially 64 through 68. I can focus on what the Messiah stated in Luke 21, 20 through 24. Let's get it. Now check this out. Joel 3, 1 through 9. For look, in those days and at that time, when I turn back the captivity of Yehuda and Jerusalem, then I shall gather all Gentiles and bring them down to the valley of Yahoshua, and I shall enter into judgment with them there for my people, my inheritance, Yisrael, whom they have scattered among the Gentiles, and they have divided up my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a young man for a whore, and sold a girl for wine, and drank it. And also, what are you to me, O Sur and Sidon, all the coast of Philistia? Are you repaying me? And if you are repaying me, I will swiftly and speedily return your reward on your own head. For you have taken my silver and my gold, and brought my treasures into your temples. And the people of Yehuda and the people of Jerusalem, hold on, listen. 6, and the people of Yehuda and the people of Jerusalem, you have sold to the sons of Yawan, to remove them far from their borders. See, I am stirring them up out of the place to which you have sold them, and I shall return on your own head what you have done, and shall sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the people of Yehuda. And they shall sell them to the Shebites, to a nation far off, for YHWH have spoken. Proclaim this among the Gentiles. Prepare for battle. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of battle draw near. Let them come up. Wow. Now, Joel 3, 5. It says, for you have taken my silver and my gold, and brought my treasures into your temples. This here is the picture of the siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD, when the Romans destroyed the temple in Jerusalem and took the Bysa 7-branch menorah candlestick. That's crazy. This is a real, this is something that you can actually see. It's a real thing, and they're basically claiming that they are the ones who destroyed the temple in 70 AD, the Romans. All right. I say that in 70 AD, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of white supremacy. All right. And now we have an example of whitewashing. First Maccabees 3:48. First Maccabees 3:48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images. This is the time when the biblical paintings went from melanated, went from black, went from dark. So now they whitewashed everything. We created it on a whitewash level, before and after. Now, Jawan in Hebrew is Greeks, Kittim is Romans, right? Jawan is one of the sons of Japheth, Gentiles, Europeans. And the Hebrew means Greek. like mentioned in Genesis 10:4-5 and Joel 3:6. And the sons of Yawan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. Genesis 10:5, by these were the hours of the Gentiles divided into their lands, every one of them after his tongue, after their families and their nations. Jawan in Hebrew is Greek, and Kittim in the Bible is referred to as the Romans. Joel 3:6, and the people of Yehuda and the people of Jerusalem, remember this is 70 AD, you have sold to the sons of Yawan to remove them far from their borders. All right, boom. Kittim is one of the sons of Jawan / Greeks. And the Bible refers to as the Romans in Genesis 10:4-5 and Luke 21-20. I already read Genesis 10:4. I read that part. Now, Luke 21:20-24. Luke chapter 21 and 20 and Luke chapter 21:24. Now, check this out. And when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that it's laying waste near. Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. But look in Joel 3:6. And the people of Yehuda, remember, Luke 21, it says, and when you see Jerusalem surrounded by the armies, they know that this laying waste is near. But remember, this is Judah time. But then Joel 3 says, and the people of Yehuda and the people of Jerusalem, you have sold to the sons of Yawan to remove them far from the borders. But then Luke 21:24 says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. You see how these two go together? Genesis 10, Joel 3:6, and Luke 21:20 and also 24. It goes hand in hand. Now check this out. Rome fell. Now this is the climax of everything. Roman Empire and the offshoot nations of today. Rome fell in 476 AD. But remember, Jerusalem was surrounded by the armies. The temple was destroyed in 70 AD by the Romans. Right? Okay, so they did that. Now Rome falls in 476 AD. And the offshoots of the nations of Rome picks back up and catches Bysa B'nai Israel on the west coast of Africa in 1619. Because Rome fell in 476 AD and broke off to these offshoot nations. B'nai Israel or Bysa, right, the 12 tribes of Israel, they got amalgamated amongst the different nations of Africa. So now you have the offshoot nations of Rome in 1619 on the west coast of Africa, and you have the amalgamated nations of B'nai Israel or Bysa in west coast Africa. So they continue to fulfill Luke 21. Well, they exile us and we shall be led captive to all nations by the Gentiles, by Japheth, by the Europeans, until the times of the Gentiles are over. The times of the Gentiles of white supremacy, the rulership, the influence. All right, so here is the nations of Rome. So in Luke 21:20-24, Yahoshua or Joshua prophesies concerning the times of the Gentiles, Japheth / white supremacy. Romans started in 70 AD, the destruction of the temple, exile, killed, and Bysa will be led away captive by the Roman, Gentiles, Japheth, white supremacy into all nations. And those people are Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, United Kingdom, Germany, Belgium, Austria, and Greece. The offshoot nations of Rome. Now, when you're looking at those who were participating in transatlantic slavery, you have Portugal, you have Spain, you have Great Britain, you have France, you got the Netherlands, the Dutch Republic, you got Denmark, Norway, you got Sweden, you got United States, which was the British colonies, later USA. You got Brandenburg, Prussia, which is Germany. You got Brazil. You got Caribbean colonies, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, etc. And then the Arab slave trade, Indian Ocean slave trade. Check this out. Again, we got all roads lead back to Rome in 70 AD and white supremacy. Now check this out. Out of the offshoot nations today, we have France, we have Portugal, we have Spain, we have Germany, and we have United Kingdom. And then nations that participate in the transatlantic slave trade, you got Portugal, you got Spain, you got Britain, you got France, you got Germany, Brandenburg African Company in 1682, they participated. You got the United States, British colonies. You got the Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden. You got the Arabs in the Indian Ocean slave trade, the transatlantic. And then you even have some Jews. Some Jews own slave ships and slave owners. Even if they wasn't dominating the slave market, they still some still participated. So that's a fact. All right, y'all. Let me get this back. I don't know what happened here, but we're gonna keep it moving, right? We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. There's always some funny stuff that be happening, but we're gonna keep it moving. Bear with me now. Now, I say that Yahoshua is the last prophet and Revelation is the final book, because anything else outside of that is under the time of the Gentiles. So the Abrahamic religions is all under, right? The three Abrahamic religions, I believe, is under the time of the Gentile religions, and the time of the Gentiles is white supremacy. So we have seen white supremacy in Christianity, white supremacy in Islam, and white supremacy in Judaism. Because remember, B'nai Israel, the actual people of Israel, is being victims by the Gentiles. The Gentiles is Japheth. Japheth is the father of the Gentiles. Japheth is the father of the Europeans. So the Gentiles is Japheth, as white people, as Europeans. The times of the Gentiles talking about white supremacy, their influence, their power, everything in religion and education, political, economic, all everything, relationships. So if Yahoshua said it is done and the final book was done in 90 AD, there's nothing else out after that. Because, so let me check it out. So Bysa, we accept nothing before the Torah 1446 BCE, all the paganism, Kemet, all that stuff. We don't accept nothing before 1446 BCE, because 1446 BCE is when we received the Torah. It was monotheism. And we made a covenant with Yah. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh is one. 33 AD is the death, resurrection, and ascension of Yahoshua. And he prophesied in 33 AD what was going to happen 37 years later in 70 AD. So 70 AD is the destruction of the temple, exile, and Gentile slavery. So that happened. So 20 years later, 20 to 25 years later, on the island of Patmos, Revelation is completed. So we accept nothing after Revelation. That's the final book. That's the final prophet. Yahoshua is the final prophet. There is no other. So from 1446 BC to 90 AD, we only deal with the Torah, Tanakh, and Brit Hadashah. From 33 AD to 70 AD, Yahoshua prophecy of the worldwide Gentile captivity. From 70 AD to 90 AD, it's destruction of the temple in the last book of Revelation. From 90 AD to 325 AD, that's a 235-year gap from the last book of Revelation to Christianity. The time of the Gentiles, the three Abrahamic religions, 325 AD Christianity, 622 Islam, 740 Judaism. And then the 400-year anniversary that was mentioned in Genesis 15 is from 1619 to 2019, which is the 400-year anniversary of being captive, of the descendants of Abraham being captive in a foreign land. Now, Jerusalem, it says in Luke 21, 20-24, it says, Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles. Japheth / Genesis 10. So Japheth So the Gentiles, Japheth is the father of the Gentiles. That's Genesis 10, 1 through 5. But Luke 21, 24 talks about how Jerusalem should be trodden down by the Gentiles. And take a look at this. The times of the Gentiles is Japheth, the Europeans, and Indo-Europeans. Here are the groups who have occupied Jerusalem since 70 AD. These are all Gentiles. These are all Japheth. These are all Europeans or Indo-Europeans. It's crazy, right? But it fulfills the prophecy of the Messiah. Now, a lot of people don't accept the Messiah. Some people who deal with the Torah and the Tanakh, they don't accept the Messiah, but they say it was false, but he's spite on. The Messiah prophesied about white supremacy. The Messiah prophesied about us going into captivity. That's the second witness. Moses was the first witness. Yahoshua was the second witness. And then he said, Jerusalem shall be trodden down, and we're going to be outside of the land, and people are going to be occupying and taking over and destroying the land. Both of these two things will be happening at the same time until the time of the Gentiles is over, which is white supremacy. And that will be over when the Messiah returns. So not only is the world going to receive salvation, it will be the freeing and the salvation of B'nai Israel, Bysa, to bring them back home from the four corners of the earth and all the nations that they were scattered to captivity, because the prophecy stated Israel has to be redeemed. So Israel hasn't been redeemed yet. All right. So the Romans ruled from 63 BC to 313 AD. Byzantine ruled from 313 AD to 614 AD. Persians ruled from 614 AD to 628 AD. Muslims and Arabs ruled from 638 AD to 1099 AD. Crusaders ruled from 1099 AD to 1291 AD. Mamluks ruled from 1291 AD to 1517 AD. Ottoman Empire ruled from 1517 AD to 1917 AD. The British ruled from 1917 AD to 1948 AD. And then the Ashkenazi Jews ruled from 1948 AD to present, 2025. Again, this here, Jerusalem trodden down by the Gentiles, right? Many groups. So this also goes with Genesis 10, 1 through 5, showing you who the Gentiles is. And then Luke 20 through 24, showing you about the worldwide captivity and Jerusalem being trodden down and occupied. I hope this is helping y'all. So this is in the end, this is our conclusion. Bysa Tzedakah nation from 1446 BCE to 70 AD. That's our time span, right? And that's the Torah, the Messiah, salvation, temple destroyed, exiled, and revelation. 1446 BCE is when B'nai Israel, Shemitic African Bysa nation received the Torah from YHWH via Moses on Mount Sinai, Jabal al-Laws, Jabal Musa in Saudi Arabia. That's in Exodus 24, 3, 7, and 12. 33 AD is when Yahoshua, Joshua died and was resurrected from the dead and ascended to Yah in a cloud and sits on the right hand of the throne. Mark 15, 37 to 39, Matthew 28, 1 through 8, Acts 1, 1 through 9, Hebrews 12, 1 through 2. 70 AD is when the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed and land became desolate. The Bysa nation was killed, exiled, and was taken into captivity by the Romans/Gentiles. Luke 21, 20 through 24, Matthew 24 through 2, Luke 21, 6, and Mark 13, 1 through 2. 90 AD on the island of Patmos is when Yahochanan the Revelator, or John the Revelator, completed the last book of Revelation, Revelations 1 through 9, Revelations 22, 12 through 21. So Bysa Tzedakah nation, or Bysa Tzedakah Edah, doesn't accept religions, worship, or philosophies past 90 AD. Also, the three Abrahamic faiths, times of the Gentiles, white supremacy religions participated in the slave trade and Holocaust of the Bysa nation. And then there's a 235-year gap from 90 AD, the final book and final prophet of Revelation, to 325 AD Christianity. Times of the Gentiles is from 70 AD to 2025 AD. They're still going. and that's anti-Semitic, white supremacy, and whitewashing. Now, 325 AD, it's Christianity, which is a Greco-Roman. Remember, Greco is Yawan, Roman is Kiddim. Greco-Roman language, culture, worship, and philosophy. Christians, Japheth / Gentiles, they have over 45,000 denominations. 622 AD, you got Islam, the Arabic language. Even though Arabic is Shemitic, but it's being spoken and dealt with by Indo-European, Japhethite, European type people, right? So 622 AD, Islam, Arabic language, culture, worship, and philosophy, the Muslims. So it's a Gentile thing. It's a Japheth thing again, Japheth / Gentiles. They have 2 major sects, and it's prophesied to be 73 sects in the future. 740 AD, Judaism, European Jewry, Ashkenazi, Khazars, Russians, Yiddish. Now, Hebrew is the Shemitic language, but again, it's spoken by Indo-European Europeans that's mixing in with some European language, with culture, worship, and philosophy. So Jews and Japheth, Japheth, Gomer, Ashkenaz, Gentiles, Germany, right? They have 4 major sects, So Bysa believes that there are only 2 sex groups. One, Bysa Nation, the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And the born. So let me see here. Hold on, let me bring that back. All right. So, and then you have B'nai HaNakar, which is the believers of the nations of the songs of the 3 sons of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, who are allies with Bysa and loves Torah, Shabbat, 7 feast days, Tzedakah, righteousness, YHWH, and also accept Yahoshua as Messiah and King. And so we're seeing that it's only 2. It's Bysa, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. And then you have B'nai HaNakar, which is prophesied in Isaiah 56, 1-6. So I hope this part 2 brings some clarity on who this is. So let's bring it back. Let me bring it on back. All roads lead back to Rome in 70 AD and white supremacy. It's crazy that it's 70 AD. Let me show you this. So in 70 AD, the Romans took over. They destroyed the temple. They whitewashed. They broke off. They became these nations. So France, Portugal, Spain, Germany, United Kingdom of the offshoot nations of Rome. In 1619, some of these nations come back and take B'nai Israel, which people just thought they were just random Africans. No, this is still Israel who fled in 70 AD, fled into Africa, North Africa, East Africa, South Africa, Central Africa, West Africa, and now they're on West Coast of Africa. Rome is back on West Coast of Africa, and then they lead us into the Americas and to all the nations of the earth. So this is more, we don't even need to even read a lot of books. It's just pure, just off, you can just see it on a regular basis. Like you don't even have to get extra deep with it. You can just see it like that. So hallelujah. Then when you add Deuteronomy 28:15, well, I don't even need to speak on that. Genesis 10, 1-5, and Luke 21, 20-24 and Joel 3. Those 3 things is all I need to prove what's going on. That's it. I don't even have to go into Deuteronomy because everybody wants to now come at us and talk about Moses' Deuteronomy. Let's talk about what your Messiah said. Y'all say y'all believe in Messiah. Let's talk about the prophecies he stated concerning white supremacy. Checkmate. Let's go. And that's why, Bysa, we don't deal with nothing after 90 to 95 AD. And Yahoshua is the last prophet. There is no other religions. There is no other groups. It's us. It's B'nai Israel, it's Bysa, and the nations have to be engrafted into us. And that's what that is. So I hope this, happy Black History Month as well. But I hope this open your mind up. I hope y'all get some insight. I'm excited. This is big. Let's go. I want to say Shabbat Shalom. May y'all bless you. May y'all keep you. May he shine his face upon you and give you peace. And like the Messiah prayer, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Shabbat shalom, shalom, shalom. Signing out. Bysa Tzedakah Edah. May Yah bless you. May he keep you. May he shine his face upon you and give you peace. Shalom, shalom.
Yes, I pray, I believe in Yahweh, Elohim, and Yahoshua is King. Yes, I pray, 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 I pray 5 times a day, 5 times a day. Yeah.
I'm Afro-Asiatic, yeah. Hebrew Israelite, Shemitic, man, she's Afro-Asiatic. I'm Afro-Asiatic, yeah. Southern, I am Central, but we still have descent.